Yo, what's good? In today's video I'm going to be breaking down how I put this sexy drill track together. So I'm going to be looking at how I flip the sample, how I've then layered the sample with some keys, taking the sample to FL Studio to add some drums and additional instrumentation, and then finally bringing it back into Logic to finish it up with more sample and processing. Let's have a listen.
Kayzee.
Cool, so let's start off with the sample. So all of the melodic instruments have been sent to a bus and then processed together, but if I just break it down one by one. Cool, so I've started off with the sample. So just chopped it up on every beat and then just replayed it back. First thing I did was to pitch it up by 3. And then added some reverb just to add some space. And then just to keep things tidy, I've then consolidated the sample. For some reason I felt like I needed to pitch it up, so I pitched it up by 1. And that is essentially providing the foundation of the entire track. I then found a different part of the sample to flip. So here's what it sounds like by itself. And that's literally just in the second half. So together with the first sample. Cool, so we've got the foundation of the track. Then I've gone on to start to layer things up. So started off on with these keys. I'm playing these chords to layer the sample. Oh yeah, quick thing about the sample, what I also did as well was in Serato sample, I've taken out the keys. So here's what it sounded like with the chords. I just took out those keys. So it gave me a lot more room to work with. That being said, started to add my own keys. So here's the chords that I added. I'm using this patch from Lounge Lizard, and I'll just go at that running through a phaser. And then essentially I just kept layering this till I got the texture that I wanted. So also added these keys from Keyscape. Just beefs it up. It just gives it that sort of glassy oud feel. Then added these keys as well to layer it even more. And yeah, this is from Keyscape by itself. The rest of the keys. As you can see, this one has been panned to the left. Then got another keys panned to the right, and guess what that one is doing. And that is that in terms of the keys. Right, then I added this strings drone, playing these 2 notes, and then just going across the sample just to provide some tension. with the sample. Cool, and then lastly for the sample, I've added these chimes. So processing wise, like I said, everything has been sent to a bus and processed together. So started off on with this real ADT, just adding some tape. Before, after, just makes it sound dated. And just to emphasize on that sound, also added in the sketch cassette just to really degrade that sound. So before, after, just really degrades it and makes it sound very old. Then added an EQ to tame some of those low frequencies. Before, just saves a lot of room for when I do add my bass in. And then lastly, I've added a reverb just to add some room. So before, after, that was that in terms of the sample. So now I consolidated the sample as an audio file, then brought it into FL Studio to add more stuff. So I added some drums, some 808 and the synth bass. The first thing I did with the sample is I've pitched it up by 2 in FL, right? So here's what it sounds like. And then send it to a mixer track as well, and on the mixer just an EQ, taking out loads of lows. I'm taking out some of the high frequencies as well. Now as you can see, I've got mainly 2 patterns, so pattern 6 and pattern 2. So pattern 6 is just the drums with the synth bass, and then pattern 2 is just a variation of that but with some spins 808 instead. So here's what it sounds like with the drums. So let's break that down. So in pattern 6 starts off with this higher pattern, followed by this storm and snap, so alternating between each other. Followed by this specs. More perks. Stumps. Percussion wise, just some lasers as well. And then added a synth bass. Here's some slide notes towards the end as well. Right, so that's pretty much that for that pattern. Yeah, little rise out to take it into the next pattern. So the only difference really, so I've made a copy of this pattern. I'm taking out the stumps, I'm taking out the synth bass, and essentially just swapped out the synth bass for an 808. So here's what that sounds like. So yeah, yeah, just a regular Spins 808, nothing crazy there. Now, as you probably noticed, I've got an acapella in the session, so this essentially is what I was making the beat around, and it's kind of one of my favorite things to do, especially as of recent. So I like to sort of listen to the flow patterns and try to make the production complement whatever the vocal is doing where I can. So what you're also going to notice, I've got a few other patterns. You can say pattern 4, pattern 7, which essentially is just a copy of some of these patterns, and it's just doing a little variation based on what the vocals are doing. So with the 808, so looking in pattern 4, and let's look at pattern 7. So with the synth bass, just to introduce the new sample section, just did a bass slide from the note down into the entry note. So one more thing in FL Studio, so I've taken this sample, sent it to a mixer track, added effectrix, and I've just added a reverse, right, which gives it sort of that pulsating sort of effects, and then I've consolidated it to get this. And yeah, it just kind of helps to break away from the sample groove a little bit. So in context, and just listen to that 808 variation. And that sliding synth bass variation. So that is pretty much that in terms of the FL Studio project. So I then consolidated it, brought it back into Logic, which is what this track is. So at this point, I wanted to take the sample somewhere else, so I thought I should incorporate another sample. So I've gone for Spaceship by Skepta. So here's what that sounds like flipped. And I've just consolidated it, and then added some EQ, just a 1 knob single band EQ, as well as some reverb, just adding some space. Oh, by the way, the EQ is being automated. In context, with the track, but now I kind of felt like the samples were clashing a little bit, because vocals on top of vocals, not really a good thing. So what I then did was added this single band EQ again to the instrumental, and then I've just automated the start of it, just to give this sample a bit more priority over this in that section. So here's what that looks like being automated, and now here's what they sound like together.
Kayzee.
But yeah, man, hope you enjoyed that. If you do, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.